Hello, Mark Sabatella from Mastering MuseScore here. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about Tony Bennett, a great American jazz singer who just passed away a few days ago, as you probably heard. Even if you weren't that familiar with him, throughout his career, a lot of people became aware of him recently through a series of duets with Lady Gaga. I knew of him from a few different things. Actually, I think my father first told me about him. But this particular album that I'm showing you here is a duet he did with Bill Evans, the pianist Bill Evans. That is Bill Evans in that picture. It is not me. I know we look a little alike at these stages of our lives. But so this was a duet album they did that to me is just incredibly beautiful. And so I want you to listen to this song that I'm going to talk a little bit more about, called You Must Believe in Spring. It's by Michel Legrand with lyrics by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. And yeah, I want you to stop my video right now, hit the pause button, and go click on the link so you can check out the Tony Bennett, Bill Evans recording of You Must Believe in Spring, and then come back here and I'll talk about it. So do that now. Okay, did you listen? Did you like it? Man, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous song, and they just do what I think of as the definitive version of it. So there's so much we could unpack about that. Tony's singing is just exquisite. Bill Evans's accompaniment is just absolute model for sensitive accompaniment. And notice he's not echoing the melody. He's playing his own lines, his own chords. Tony knows the melody strongly enough that he doesn't need Bill to be feeding him that melody, right? And Bill's sense of harmony and how he voices these chords and all the intermoving lines. I mean, it is just a textbook study. But what I want to actually focus on here is a different textbook study here, and this has to do with the song itself, in particular, its melody. So I mentioned the song is by Michel Legrand, who, by the way, shares a birthday with me. So Bill Evans looks like me. Michel Legrand has my birthday. That is my my connection to this. Anyhow, the song, Michel Legrand, to me, epitomizes the idea of making the most out of a little, not just in this song, but in many of his songs. He has relatively little melodic material that he then develops incredibly well. And so really, when you get down to it, this piece is a single motif. I mean, I don't know if that aspect of it was like immediately apparent or not, but feel free to go back and listen to it. But I'll play you some of it just so you can remember how it sounds. So it starts off something like this. And that's the motif. So it's that little ascending thing, that kind of jumpy thing, and then it's got an answering phrase. That's the answering phrase to it. And then what happens next? The same thing. Right? Same exact phrase. Right? It's that same ascending line. And then the jumpy thing, and then the answering phrase. And now he breaks it up. So that's essentially that same opening motif. It didn't have the big jump to it. It didn't go. It didn't go. Yeah, for all I know, maybe that's how Michel Legrand wrote it, and Tony chose to sing it as just that. But then repeats that first submotif again. Right? So instead of it doesn't have the answering phrase, he just takes that opening part of the motif and then moves it around, and then he does the whole thing again. The whole motif again, right? So that entire A section of the piece is just that motif spun around. But look what's going on harmonically. it's this 2-5-1 with this typical Bill Evans-y substitution thing going on in D minor. Then the same thing in F. And now, then it's a 2-5 in A minor. And then it's in G minor. And then it's back to F again. And then it has to turn around somehow to get back to that original E half diminished chord. So he's moving this thing around harmonically through major keys, minor keys, and the circle of fifths. And then in the second A section, I don't know if Michelle wrote it this way or if this was Bill Evans's thing, but he actually, when it's supposed to go around the circle of fifths from E7 to the A, they don't do that. They move the whole thing up a half step at that point. So it actually modulates mid-A section up a half step at that point. It's subtle. You barely even are aware it happens, but it does happen, and it's gorgeous. And then it allows the entire last A section to be up a half step from where it started. And then it continues on. So he manages to take that motif and just move it around harmonically just a whole bunch of different ways. And of course, the lyrics put on it are just incredible also. And so they tell a whole story that goes along with this. And this is how you can take one motif and develop it to the point where you might think it doesn't sustain that much development, but if you really treat it with care and perform it sensitively, you can absolutely make that work. And by gosh, Tony Bennett and Bill Evans did that right there. So hope you enjoyed listening to that song and hearing me talk a little bit about it.